Good evening. Welcome, Madiba Prep Charter School. My name is Maria Basilio, and I'm one of the assistant principals at Williamsburg High School for Architecture and Design. It's a very, very long name, so we do call it WHSAD for short. So whenever you hear that funny word, just note that we are referring to the school's shortened version of the name. So open houses are a little weird this year. For one thing, it is now December 14th, and the junior high school, eighth grade high school applications are not yet open, but you should be setting up your My Schools account by now because the letters are out. Um, Sorry, let me just let this young lady in. And and then we hope to provide you with a little bit more information on how to work with your counselor once the application opens, but we don't know when that will be happening as of yet. But welcome. It feels like forever since we last collaborated last October in 2019. We had some of our students visit your school and help work on some libraries. I have some photos of it actually. I'll show in a few minutes. But since we cannot do open houses in person where you guys actually visit our school in return and get to see our classes happening in real time, we are hosting everything virtually. So our virtual open houses are still the same. We will be making some short presentations about what makes our school unique. We will have some anecdotes from students, current and alumni, and you will also hear from some of our staff about what some of our programs look like. So, without any further ado, I think I've let a lot of people here in by now. So let's just get started. So, what is WASAD? So WASAD is a small high school of approximately 600 students. So we only have 150 students in each grade. It's a small school, and we have a curriculum that not only emphasizes that students graduate with a Regents diploma, passing all of their core classes, but we also have a curriculum for each of the 4 years that emphasizes architecture, design, and technology to a point where we expect students to graduate with something called the Career and Technical Education Endorsed Diploma in Architecture. That means that they've passed every single course in the CTE sequence, in the architecture sequence, and pass a nationally recognized exam on Autodesk AutoCAD to prove their mastery of the work. I think we've done pretty well. We know our numbers speak for themselves. I'll share with you our graduation rates in a bit. But as of last fall, the U.S. Department of Education awarded us with something called the National Blue Ribbon Award, where they celebrate schools from around the country on their successes over the course of the past year. And we are actually the only New York City high school to have earned that award in 2020. So we're very proud that the Federal Education Department has really recognized the work that we have done as a school. So as I did mention, we have a 4 year architecture sequence, and the best person to present that would be my colleague. She's the AP of Math, Science, Physical Education, and Career and Technical Education, and her name is Miss Kimberly Bruno. Hi, Miss Bruno.
Hey, Ms. Basilio, thank you for the introduction, and thank you, students, for joining us today. So I'll just run very briefly through our 4 year sequence. As Ms. Basilio said, we have 4 full years of architecture and design courses that are mandatory for all students to take. The first year is the foundation of architecture and design, and it's taught by 2 teachers, Mr. Garinger and Mr. Abe Rodriguez, who's a licensed architect. And in this course, students will learn basic principles of design. They learn to analyze and create floor plans, elevations, sections, isometric and linear perspective. They learn how to use a T-square, a triangle, and an architect scale. They also learn AutoCAD, which is the primary system that we use on the computer to create architectural drawings. The second year is taught by Mrs. Diaz Rivera, who is actually also a licensed architect. And you continue your AutoCAD skills And in addition to that, you really learn more technical skills connected with architecture. So it's a real technical course, but it's something that is really important for all students to know if you plan on pursuing a career in architecture. The third year is a course with two teachers again, Miss Moose and Mr. O'Brien. And Miss Moose is really a studio art and design teacher. Mr. O'Brien is a licensed electrician and construction trades teacher. And this year, you really apply a lot of your design skills and building knowledge introduced in the previous years. So you also learn basic woodworking skills. You do model making, basic electrical wiring, hand tool usage, and basic design concept development. And this all culminates in your fourth year, which is advanced computer aided drafting and design and the business of architecture with Mr. Codio, who you will meet, and I'm sure love as we all do. And it's really the part of the final course that you take where you'll develop your portfolio. You work with a lot of our outside partners, and you will put together your final project, which you could also show as part of your portfolio for college and career moving forward. So Mr. Codio will discuss that more. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. It's just my last name at WHSAD.org. And again, we look forward to hopefully meeting you one day and hopefully welcoming some of you as our students.
Thank you, Ms. Bruno. And as she did mention, we have this 4-year sequence that we mandate all of our students to take. Unlike most CTE programs that only mandate 3, we require 4. So what does that mean? I think it means that we're doing pretty well. Data has shown that since 2010, so for the last 11 years, we've had a graduation rate of 90% or higher. In fact, since 2017, so the last 4 years, we've had a 4-year graduation rate of 95% or higher. And this is really important because WHSAD is what's called an unscreened program. This means that we do not look at student portfolios. We do not look at report cards. We don't look at transcripts. We don't look at attendance data. We don't make you audition. Okay. What we do is we have only 150 seats. And out of those 156 seats last year, we had over 1,400 applicants. So in order to maximize the chances of a student getting into our program, they're really ranking us number 1 in the high school application list. And because of that, we feel that no matter where you come from, okay, if you really want to be part of our program, you will be taking advantage of the opportunities and go to school every single day. And we're so confident in ourselves that we feel that wherever you come from, if you want to be here every single day, all right, you will succeed. And that's basically what we've been doing for over a decade. Last year, class of 2020, even though we moved to fully remote in March, 96% of them graduated. Okay. We still owe them a few things like a get together, celebrate their graduation. But 96% of them graduated in 4 years. We did not lose, a lot of students like a lot of other high schools did, and that's because in March, when the mayor shut the schools down, we as a staff made a very important decision that we're going to teach live classes from the very beginning. Not every single New York City high school did that, but we decided we're going to keep the kids engaged and we're going to keep them online and we're going to make sure they go into their classes. And 96% of our kids, seniors, graduated last year. And not only did 96% of the seniors graduate, but of those graduates, 98% of them completed that 4-year sequence and passed what's called the CTE assessment in Autodesk AutoCAD. So they passed that. Many of them passed it while they're home with very limited resources. They mastered the content well enough that they wound up passing the technical assessment. As of now, I know you guys are in eighth grade and you're wondering, what does that mean for me? Well, 96% of our freshmen earned enough credits. They passed every single one of their classes last year. And so they're completely on track for graduation. That's going to be really important because a lot of the opportunities that we offer, especially those paid internships, they happen during the summer. Okay, so 96% of our freshmen are actually eligible for these summer jobs, which is really important. All right, so enough about me talking. I'd like to introduce to you guys some of our students. All right, they're really eager to talk about their experience at WSAD. I'm going to start with freshmen first, and I'm going to start with a young man. His name is Derek. He's been part of our summer bridge program, and he has some things to say about his freshman year so far. Hi, Derek.
Hello. I'm a freshman at WSAD. My name's Derek Ramos, as Miss Sylvia said, and I experienced my summer bridge experience before getting into the school. So how summer bridge works when at WSAD is you're able to a couple months before you actually get into the school or your freshman year, you are able to experience what you learn at the school through the summer bridge program. You are meeting some of the teachers that are you're going to be spending your 4 years with, and you're building up a project that you will present to them, and they will criticize, and you'll learn what you would be doing throughout the school year. You would be working with programs that you might use throughout the school year, and you get a feel of what designing is and architecture and all these fundamental skills that you will be learning throughout your 4 years. And this summer bridge program also introduces you to your classmates that you would be spending your time with, and you can also even meet upperclassmen, and it's just a very smooth transition in my opinion. And I always commemorate my teachers because I'm able to know more with them throughout that summer bridge experience, because it's not like you meet them the very first day. You get to experience how the school would flow before you even get into it. And then when you finally do it, it's smoother. Everything's smoother in my opinion. And also with COVID-19, it was very nice to spend. It was not nice, but COVID-19 ruined a lot of things. But my summer bridge experience was still fulfilled, so that was something I commemorate the teachers and this school. And so far, my experience at WSAD has been very great. We have live classes, and I'm still receiving a high school education despite of the situation that we're in right now. That will be all, and I'll pass it back to Miss Basilia.
Thank you so much, Derek. Next student that wants to talk about her experience at WSAD is also a freshman. Her name is Jennifer. Hey, Jennifer.
Hello, my name is Jennifer. I'm a freshman at WorkSite. I participated in the Summer Bridge program. This program is very fun to be in. This program helps you get ready for what you're going to learn throughout the year. You get along with your teachers and classmates. Your classmates that you meet in the program are the same ones you might see during some of your classes. Even your teachers, for example, from my architecture class teacher, I have Mr. Rodriguez, who was part of the summer bridge program. So you as well get really along with your teachers and get more confidence to talk in class or with your teachers or even presenting like I did during my classes. And my year has been going fine and really good. Even though we're all remote, it's been really easy for me, honestly, and it hasn't been any trouble. I'm really glad to be in this school. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Then we're going to move on to the next grade. All right. We're going to move on to the sophomore year. We have a young man named Matthew who's also taking advantage of a lot of the opportunities like the Bridge program and the ACE mentorship program. Hi, Matthew.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. So my name is Matthew Z, and I'm going to quickly talk about some of the opportunities that I've gotten from this school, this amazing school. So Just a little bit of background. I started going to the school before I like came in. I had my middle school and this high school had like have a really good relationship, and I was able to come here in, I believe, seventh grade, and I started working with the programs as Derek stated before, and I really got to know the school. I got to know one of the teachers, Mr. Codio, long time before I, officially came here. And I thought that was such a really cool experience. That was one amazing opportunity I got. Another amazing opportunity that I've taken full advantage of in ninth grade and even this year in 10th grade is something called the ACE Mentorship Program. And the ACE Mentorship Program is you go to these like classes where you're able to learn about different types of architecture and like different aspects of like engineering when building homes. Um, this program puts you with like real world in it puts you in real world situations and like with in groups with professionals, and it's a really good class to take if you want to expand your like knowledge and to just see what you're learning and how does it apply to like the real world things that you could maybe in the future be doing yourself. This program really opened my eyes to what is possible and showed me that what I'm learning in this school can be directly applied to what I could be doing in the future as well. The program allowed me to make some amazing friends and allowed me to have amazing relationships with the mentors. And this is only one of the amazing opportunities that this school offers. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Matthew. And finally, we're going to move on to a senior. So she's reflecting upon all 4 years that she's in WHSAD. Her name is Haley, and she's also been very active in our student government and our student activities. Hi, Haley.
Hi. So throughout my time at WSAD, I've participated in a lot of things, and WSAD has opened a lot of opportunities for me. Certain things that I've done is community service within the school is a big deal. I've been able to partake in a lot of community service. Being that our school is architecturally based, I've also currently involved in 2 architecture projects, which is really good for college admissions, which is what we're doing right now. So it's going really well for me. Also another program, I'm so sorry, there's so much background noise, but
Don't worry, Haley. It's okay.
all right, hold on, just pass. All right. So My Sister's Keeper is another program that I've been involved in, and it's a great opportunity for females to learn female empowerment and give them a voice for them to encourage young women. And I think that's something that without WSAD, I don't think I would have gotten to do half the things that I've been able to do. I've done internships, participated in ACE mentorship program, which has like made my skills in architecture much better. And I think that coming to WSAD has really changed me for the better, and it's probably one of the best decisions I made. So I definitely suggest WSAD for anyone incoming to definitely keep that WSAD in mind. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Haley. And there has been a gentleman who's been posting links from our website as each student speaker is speaking, including Haley, who participated in the My Sister's Keeper induction ceremony. He's also our 10th grade English teacher and the person who helps coordinate the student newspaper. His name is Mr. Kessner. Hi, Mr. Kessner.
Hi, Ms. Basilio. We are an architecture and design school. We have a lot of opportunities, as Haley, Matthew, Derek, and Jennifer have spoken about. And one thing that we are very serious about is making sure that the community at large knows about our students' achievements and our programs and everything that we have going on at WSAD. So a lot of what you see on the website is everything on the website is meant to showcase the great work our students are doing. And I'm proud that over the last few years, most of that content has been generated by the students. So students have taken over the writing responsibilities on the website. Students have founded our school newspaper, The Column. So student ownership and student autonomy is really a cornerstone for WHSAD education. And, you know, opportunities such as networking, the importance of public relations, which if you're going to work in an architecture firm, if you're going to work at a design firm, public relations, if no one knows what's happening, then does it really happen? So getting the word out. Also, opportunities for our students to actually write and make money for their writing. And I guess as a school, the most proud thing as an English educator, the proudest thing about this is seeing students grow in terms of their writing skills and their thinking skills and their public speaking skills as they interview a lot of community stakeholders. So, you know, we have a lot of programs, a lot of great events, a lot of great student achievements. And another program we have is, as Haley mentioned, the community service. And to speak on that are Jesus and Angelica. So you two, welcome.
Hi, my name is Angelica, like Mr. Krasner said, and in community service, we worked a lot with our community as much as we could because, after all, they're the ones that have given us experience and making us into adults and like actually giving us real life experiences. So I think it was like a pretty cool opportunity that the school offered. Um, we worked in the little library, which we constructed little wood boxes that people were able to set up and put books inside them, and they could share and give back. And we were able to work with the police, like we were able to build a better relationship after everything that has happened. I think we were able to look back and see that not everything that happened was like it seemed. For the senior center, it was like a really great opportunity because we actually were the ones that were bothering our teacher to give us this opportunity because we thought that it was like really cute. So they worked really hard in order for us to experience this. When we went to the senior center, we set up games for the seniors to play with us, and then we got to know them a little bit better. We got to know a little bit about their lives and how sorry and how they felt. So it was like really nice, a nice experience for us, and it made me appreciate more how how they have experienced everything, and now it was our turn. And then for me, there was like this really cute senior, and then she talked to us a lot, and then I think I was able to take some tips from her.
Hi, my name is Jesus. I forgot to introduce myself in the beginning. So for like community service in the parks, we helped a lot clean up, especially when it was fall, since a lot of leaves fall. And for me, it was a good experience because we got to know more about our community and we got to help in a way. And while we were helping, many people were walking by and they were thanking us. So that was kind of like a good experience. Thank you. Any questions?
At this time, it's probably a good time to pause. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask now. We also have a lot of students willing to answer the questions in the chat. All right. So the next set of presenters, I'm just going to share the screen for one moment. Okay, is what really makes WSAD different than other schools. And we already kind of talked about it, but we're going to go in more detail. And it's the work-based learning program. And as Mr. Kestner did say, we do offer paid internships, and many of those internships are offered over the summer. Now, some of you may have heard of something called the Summer Youth Employment Program, where the city of New York pays young people um, $15 an hour to work over the course of the summer. Now, typically, young people have to apply for SYEP or Summer Youth by entering their names and applications in through a lottery system, and they get chosen if they're chosen in the lottery. Now, WSAD is one of those schools that's called School-Based Summer Youth Employment Program, which means we have a dedicated slot of usually around 200 students who are employed over the summer. We also control where they're being placed. So many of them are placed through some of our partners, and we will talk about in a few minutes. Now, because of COVID last summer, you may have heard over the news that the mayor canceled summer youth employment because everybody had to stay home. But our students lobbied, our staff and our partners lobbied well enough that we were actually able to secure 50 paid jobs last summer. So we even offered internships when the schools and everyone were mandated to stay home. So a few weeks ago, things are wrapping up in the next week or so. We also have something called the Work, Learn, Grow program. It's a program that gives juniors and seniors the opportunity to attend a CUNY class. This time they're attending it remotely. We have 45 of those juniors and seniors starting it earlier in November. And once they pass that CUNY course, they are now available to take on 200 paid internship hours starting in January. Those internships are actually a mix of in-person, blended, or fully remote, and they all get paid at $15 an hour. So we're really very excited that we're still offering internships, even though we're all remote, because it's really important for all of our students to graduate high school having some work experience in their resume, because we believe that it builds character in a young person and it puts them at a leg up over their colleagues once they start going to college and once they start graduating from college. So it's a really important skill. And to introduce to you a young person who have taken advantage of every single one of those opportunities since he was a freshman, I'd like to introduce a senior. His name is Matthew, and he'll talk to you about his internship experiences. Hi, Matthew.
Hi, everybody. So, my name is Matthew Luciano, and I'm a senior at WSAD. So, I mean, my overall experience has been really good. I felt like it was my second family because they've offered me so many opportunities and things that I didn't think that I was able to do during starting from my freshman year. So, during my freshman year, like a previous kid was talking about the summer bridge program, I was actually one of the first incoming freshmen to be a part of that program when it had first started. So I thought it was a really good experience because it gave me just a preview of what I was gonna do throughout the 4 years. So I worked a lot in using AutoCAD, which is a software that the kids will be using a lot throughout the school years. So I thought that was really good, and that's how I met the senior architect teacher, Mr. Codio. And he's since that program, he's seen my progress and work. So going into my sophomore year, he saw how good my work was, and he offered me a job mentoring the class of 2022, their incoming freshman year. So I was actually a mentor. So I taught those incoming freshmen how to work the AutoCAD application, which I thought was really cool. And then the more I advanced going into my junior year, him and Miss Wilson offered me a job at a at an architecture firm called Heritage Equity Partners, where I was an assistant to the main architect, which was a woman named Toby Mosklovich. So I worked there for the 6 weeks going into my junior year, and I thought that was a really good experience because that was my first office job. So I got to work in an office setting and see what some of the architects did. But other than that, I was also a part of the ACE mentorship program, like Matthew Z was talking about. But I was a part of the Gensler office, which was Team Six, and I work a few blocks away from Times Square. And I thought that was really cool because I've also been doing that since freshman year. And the good thing about that is that if they see that you've been there for all 4 years of that program, They offer you internships for the summer and also scholarships when you're getting ready to go to college. So that was really cool as well. And they're also during going into my sophomore year, due to the whole COVID situation, I did the work, learn, and grow. So I was working remotely with the Salvadori Center, and we was doing like little small projects on how to do engineering and other things like that. So I thought that was good. So now currently my senior year, I only have, due to all my experience and all the work that I've done, they offered me to be a part of the co-op tech program, which is a program that WSAD offers to seniors when they have accumulated their credits and things like that. So at the WSAD building, I only take 4 classes now. And then the other half of the school day, I go to Co-op Tech, which is a trade school in 96th Street in Manhattan. So I go there for the rest of my school day. And right now, I'm trying to get a certification in advertising and design. So far, the program's been really good. But overall, I think Wasad was the best experience that I've ever had. And to talk more, I would like to introduce Miss Wilson, which will talk about the work experience and things like that. So, Miss Wilson.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, my microphone didn't want to turn on. Sorry. Thank you very much, Matthew. I appreciate that. I am going to put up a slideshow real quick. So my name is Miss Wilson, and I am the senior math teacher at Architecture and Design, in addition to being the work-based learning coordinator. So I teach 4 classes a day, and then my other time is spent developing these opportunities and working with the teachers and the students to get students exposure to the world of work. Work-based learning is an essential component of the CTE program, and really the reason for it and the goal of it is to help students see what the different career options are and the different career paths are in these related fields, so that when the time comes in their senior year or at graduation, when they're making those decisions about what's coming next, they know what it looks like to work in a certain field or work at a certain company or something like that. Too often students don't really know what is entailed in certain jobs, and we want to make sure that they know, what those options are, and then how to achieve whatever goal it is that they're setting for themselves. One of the essential components of work-based learning is that students are interacting with professionals in the field. These are not programs that are being presented by their teachers, but that are being presented by architects and engineers and construction managers and designers, and the people who are actually doing the work are engaging with the students either in one-on-one or in small groups to really teach them about these career options. The other thing that's really important about work-based learning is it's about all of those other skills towards employment, things like writing a resume, having a job interview, understanding an office environment versus working on a site at a work site. Matthew mentioned his internship being the first time he'd ever really worked in an office, and there's certain expectations there versus if you were on a construction site or somewhere else. And then the third thing that's really special about work-based learning is that it allows the students to really draw connections between what they're doing in class at school and what they're doing in the workplace, and helping them see that what they're learning in school is valuable and how they can directly apply it to the world of work. So all of these things together are part of work-based learning. We don't have time to talk about all of the work-based learning opportunities because we'd be here till January. So I will highlight a few. Some of them you've heard the students mention briefly, some others that I will bring up to talk about the ways that the students can be involved. So the first thing I'm going to talk about are what I call our design challenges. These are targeted projects with 1 or 2 partners who are coming into the school and giving students consistent feedback and critique about whatever it is that they're working on, or as the case may be now, virtually, not in the school. Students are given a task, a project to work on, and over the course of the school year or the semester, depending on the duration, there are architects or designers, or professionals coming in to constantly work with the students on those. On the left here, we have 2 projects from previous years. Every year we do a project with the Department of Buildings in the month of February for Black History Month. We've done projects on Black architects in New York City. A couple of years ago, the project was about the historic jazz clubs of New York. And it's a great way for students to learn more also about New York City. New York City itself is a wonderful classroom. There's so much to see and do, and it helps the students learn more about, the city that they live in. On the right, this is Chandler, who is currently in her freshman year at the School of Architecture at Temple University in Philadelphia. And she was part of the first group that was involved in our project with SVA, the School of Visual Arts. And that is our program. SVA has their own design incubator program for their graduate students. And we started a mini version of that at WHSAD, where students were identifying something that was missing, either a product or an app or a concept, something that they felt that they could design and develop that would meet a need in their communities. And over the course of the year, we had product designers coming in. We had, they had lessons in branding and marketing and packaging. And then at the end, they presented their design. So there was also lessons on presentation. How do you convince somebody that your product is the product that they should be purchasing or investing in? It was a great initial program a few years ago as an after-school project. It's now been incorporated into our AP Human Geography course in 11th grade. So the students are tying it in with what they're learning about different communities through AP Human Geography. You've already heard a little bit about ACE Mentorship from both of the Matthews. I just want to reiterate a little bit about it. I always say that ACE Mentorship, you get a lot of bang for your buck. It's 1 day a week for 2 hours from late October through late April or early May. It is currently all virtual. Usually it would be in person, as you can see in the photo of our students from a few years ago. Students work in teams, not just with students from WHSAD, but with students from other schools as well, along with the sponsoring firm, which is usually an architecture firm, but could be a construction or engineering firm, hence ACE, and then also that firm's other partners. And there is a project that the students work on where they are given some sort of challenge and they have to come up with a solution to it. This is the one from a few years ago. I think it was actually Senior Matthew's project, where they were working specifically about disaster relief and areas that are prone to natural disasters. And this was a modular home that could be built quickly after mudslides in this particular part of Colombia and South America that the students worked on to think about, when people's homes, unfortunately, are destroyed by something like a mudslide, how can you build something quickly to help get them shelter and help get them, back on their feet after something like that. As Matthew did mention, ACE offers college scholarships, which a number of our students have won in recent years, including Chandler, who you saw on the last slide. They also offer internships and other programs as well. It is a fabulous program. You can get involved right away as a freshman. It's a great way to start exploring some of these career options. Our site visits. These are our field trips, which are very different than typical field trips. When WHSAD students go on field trips, they're very often going sort of behind the scenes. They're going to places and seeing it from a totally different side than the average visitor. And the person that they're meeting when they go on their tours is usually the architect or the engineer or the person in charge of the project or whatever is happening. On the top left here, you can see this was our visit a few years ago to the TWA terminal at JFK Airport. It had long been closed to the public, and it was about to close truly entirely for the big renovation and restoration project that just finished up last year. We got to go. We basically had a whole afternoon. It was just us, about 40 students, some teachers, and then the gentleman who we were meeting with was at the time, the vice president of the Port Authority in charge of the project. And he spoke with the students not only about his own career path, how he ended up as the vice president of the Port Authority in charge of this project, but also then about the challenges of the project, doing this huge construction project in the middle of one of the busiest airports in the world, in this landmarked building where certain things could not be changed and they had to maintain certain things a certain way. Great opportunity for students to get a very behind the scenes look. Same on the top right. Anytime you get to put on a reflective vest and a hard hat, you're definitely on a very unique type of visit. This was St. Patrick's Cathedral in Manhattan a few years ago. The gentleman in the orange was the restoration engineer, the one leading the project to restore the facade and some of the structural work at St. Patrick's Cathedral. Again, busy cathedral in the middle of Manhattan, couldn't close it down, had to be open and safe for visitors to come and go, and a great opportunity for students to see a very engineering side of things. The two photos on the bottom are from some of our summer programs through not the internship part of SYEP, but the school-based part of SYEP. On the bottom left, we have a visit to a green roof in Manhattan in the summer of 2019. We have a lot of projects with our partners that revolve around sustainability. And New York City itself has passed new regulations about sustainability in architecture and in buildings and upgrades that buildings have to do. So our students have been involved in some of that work. And on the right, we have students visiting a model building workshop at an architecture firm. Even at an architecture firm, you have a lot of people who aren't architects. You have interior designers, you have model builders, you have people who do marketing and graphics and other things. So it's a great way for students to see all the other parts of architecture that aren't just the building design. In this case, model building, which is a very detail-oriented craft and something that if students are interested in can lead to some really interesting career paths. Workplace exploration, these are the projects that we do where we partner up with a specific business or other organization to give students a really in-depth look at something. Architectural Grill is a manufacturing company. They're down along the Gowanus Canal here in South Brooklyn, and they manufacture metal grills, the kind of things that go over your HVAC system. And we started working with them about 6 or 7 years ago. And the students who are part of this project every year, they get to do the research into the different types of designs they can do. They get to make their designs in AutoCAD. So again, they're using their classwork for this extracurricular activity. They get to make their designs, they get to fabricate them, they get to finish them. They sort of learn that entire manufacturing process from beginning to end. We've had students who have been able to have internships with Architectural Grill. And a few years ago, we even had a student who had a job offer from them at graduation. He had interned with them his senior year. They offered him a job, and he ended up working for them for about 2 years while he got his associate's degree, his first couple of years of college. So we really love working with them. It's great for students who want to see some of those other applications of the AutoCAD design program that we're doing in school. Makeville is a woodworking studio that we work with also in Gowanus. These are after-school classes, generally 8 to 10 weeks, where students get to work on a project doing woodworking, either with hand tools or power tools. This photo here is from the time that they did lamps. They also did the electrical wiring for the lamps. They've done boxes, they've done stools. Last year there was a class all on hand tools, and they actually carved wooden spoons by hand. Great opportunity for students who are interested in that very hands-on experience. We also have a partnership with Kingsland Printing, which is a screen printing company in Greenpoint. And we were supposed to start in spring of 2020, hopefully sometime in 2021, we'll be starting a similar relationship with a ceramics studio in Brooklyn. And all of this is leading up to the internships. Part of the goal of all of these other programs is that by the time you get to the internships, you know what you're interested in and you know which internship you want to do. And there's internships in many, many fields, many of them architecture, many of them engineering, construction, all different things. I'm going to talk about a few here. This one here, these are some of our internships at Greenwood Cemetery, which is one of our original internship partners. They have had students every summer since 2009 until this summer, unfortunately. So hopefully next year we'll be back with Greenwood. It is a great opportunity for students who are interested in that hands-on experience. They get to work with different materials, learn about the different types of stone or granite or marble that go into the monuments. They work on physics. They build these pulley systems. So these things are really heavy. You can't just pick them up out of the ground if they've fallen over. They also get to do historical research, which you can see Andrew doing on the top left. Just as there are, almost 200-year-old monuments, there are pieces of paper and photographs and documents and records. So students get to do some historical research as well and learn about this really historic place, right here in the middle of Brooklyn. And the photo on the bottom left, I just want to point out, this is from a few years ago. This is one of our interview days. So when we do get to have our internships, we also, as I said before, the students are always interviewing as well. We really think it's important for them to go through that process and understand that job application process. And this is some of the men from Greenwood who came to interview that day. A few other internships I'll highlight just to show some of the diversity of the different positions we have. On the bottom here is Jonathan. He interned at Stillman, which is a structural engineering firm in Lower Manhattan. And he got to go on some site visits, sit in some project meetings. He did some work with their marketing department. And he is now a student in the engineering school at City College. On the top left is Joseph, who interned at Brooklyn Borough Hall. All the borough halls in New York City are required to have offices of topography, which is where they keep the maps of the borough. And anytime there's a change to a building, you have to update the map, and the maps get updated in AutoCAD. Certainly here in Brooklyn, you know that there's a lot of changes going on. So I call it the never-ending internship. There's always more work to do, and the students get to use those AutoCAD skills from class in that place. And then on the right, we have another one of our more outdoor hands-on experiences. This was a few years ago at Portside, which is a decommissioned oil tanker in Red Hook that is being converted into a floating maritime museum. I just want to highlight a couple other things really quick. Some of these you've already heard about. Construction Skills is a pre-apprenticeship program for students who are interested in the building trades unions, electricians, carpenters, plumbers, stonemasons, anything like that. They can do that in their senior year if they're interested in joining the union. Pratt Young Scholars is a portfolio development program. Students apply at the end of 9th grade. It's on Saturdays and in the summer with Pratt, and it really allows them to develop their portfolio if they're going to be using that to apply to college. CTE-ISP is another internship program through the Department of Education, stands for the Industry Scholars Program. You've already heard a little bit about SYEP and Work, Learn, Grow and the community service. And like I said at the beginning, this is just a snapshot of some of our activities. There's so many more out there that our students can be involved in, and we're adding things all the time. So hopefully by the time that your students are enrolled at WHSAD, you know, you'll be in the next photos for the next round because you'll be participating in all of these opportunities. So I will turn it back over to Ms. Basilio.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. And the next and final staff member I'll be introducing this evening is actually the person who took these photos. So let me just share the screen for you. All right, in October of 2019, which feels like ages ago, we actually visited your school, and our students and this gentleman built little free libraries with you guys. We showed you guys how to how these work. We even showed you guys how to operate a power drill. All right, and there's someone operating a drill under the supervision of our students. And so we had a really, really great time, and we hope that we can get together again very, very soon. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the photographer and the teacher who helped coordinate that. That's Mr. Codio. Hi, Mr. Codio.
Hi, Ms. Basil. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I am.
Okay, awesome. Once again, thank you so much. We had, Madiba Prep, we had a lot of history, especially when helping you with your Makerspace lab. So some of the stuff I'm about to present with you right now, you have some of the technologies that we worked together in the past, and hopefully we can continue to work together. As well as we still have our Makerspace Studios Architecture Club after school. If you would like to invite some of your students that want to learn more about the technology, the program, feel free to, Mr. Kesson will put it in the chat, the link for the Makerspace Studio, so your kids could actually work on some of the projects you're working on and some of the designs as well, okay? Are you able to see the screen, Basilio?
Yes, I am.
Okay, awesome. So once again, some of you're probably familiar with some of the software because you have some of the softwares at your school, but these are only a few of the softwares that we have that make the program work, especially with the internships, the community service, the projects that our students have to do, and as well as some of our graduates are still working on with some of these programs as well for their grad school as well, which I'll introduce you to phenomenal individuals in a few minutes. So some of the programs are AutoCAD, of course, as Ms. Bruno stated, our certification goes through AutoCAD. That's one of the Autodesk suite. We have Rhino, 3D Max, Maya, Revit, Fusion 360, and Adobe. And one of the great things about the school, you're able to actually, if you want a program, we could actually purchase it for you so you can learn. You can even start your own club and teach others the program as well. And the teachers are willing to learn from you and learn together with you. That's one of the cool things about the school, that we are not afraid to say, hey, teach me a program that you learned over the summer. And some of these technologies, actually the MakerBots we definitely have, due to the fact that we work together with building the lab together. We have the 3D printer, some plotters to actually plot out some of the large scale drawings, the blueprints for some of our projects with our work-based learning team, as well as laser engravers and Promethean boards for presentations. So to pretty much get all our students involved in the projects and having the technology that the industry partners have goes a long way, so they don't have to feel like they have to go somewhere else or get outsourced. Like if they create their designs in class, such as a lot of the summer bridge students create their designs way before they start their freshman year classes in our bridge program, such as one of the students stated prior to me talking. And then these are some of the, sorry about that, these are some of the 3D models that some of the students did, and you can see the whole process, how it works. So Wilson showed you, like on the day of presentation, some of the photos, but these are like the back, behind the scene, when they're actually putting the products together, designing the products and 3D printing the products, as well as laser engraving using the machines that we have, thousands and thousands of dollars, but we were able to actually purchase to help the students understand what it takes to actually put together a well thought out project. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. And once again, one of our key things is showing the architectural classes. So besides having we learn information in class, we go to job sites, but we also actually pretty much put all of that together on a weekly or bi-weekly schedule so that they get the real experience. So prior to them having their internships, they work with these community partners such as HWKN, Walter B. Melvin Architects, as well as the NYPD Brooklyn North, with the projects that we work throughout the whole entire school year. So before I end it off, this is like the sequence. So one of the key things that we want to make sure that you all have is the real work experience, so that you don't feel like, oh, where am I going to utilize this? Why do I need to learn this? And this is where it's being applied, especially when it comes to presentation, allowing yourself to have a thought process and being in front of an audience and say, hey, hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is my project. I am so-and-so. I'd like to introduce my project that I've been working on. So these are the skill sets that we make sure that our students have prior to them leaving our school. And these are some of the great community partners such as Heritage Equity and Gensler, which we are partnered with for the last 6 years. And one of the major competitions we have, they give our students incentive to show that at the end of the year, the winners, this is one of our students, she was able to receive a $500 check. She won the design competition, and it was able to actually showcase that, hey, I worked hard for this and I get rewarded. And that's one of the things we push, that most of the students that work for us from after school are getting paid through the Work Learning Grow program. And the students always ask us in terms of, do we have art? One of the key things about our school that makes us different, that we combine all things. And if we don't have the program, we will always add that program to make sure that it fits the curriculum, it fits your curriculum and not our curriculum. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to two phenomenal individuals, Naya and Ramon Williams. They will talk briefly about their experience through the graduate, how WHSAD has helped them, and how they are doing right now in college and grad school as well. So Naya.
Hi everyone, my name is Naya. I'm a sophomore in college. I go to St. Francis College, so I graduated class of 2019 from WSAD, and I love the school. There's nothing that you guys didn't say, the current students. Some things that I was a part of was the little free libraries. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we were a part of the first time that we got together on this project, and it was a really rewarding project. You know, we got to go to different schools and read books to kids, and seeing just the look on these kids' faces when they got to hold a drill. They've never held a drill before, and they got to use it. It's really rewarding, everything you get to do with the school. Adding on to Mr. Codio, you have a lot of free space to work in the school. If you want a project or you want to propose something, and the school has an endless amount of partnerships. If you want to propose something, you're more than welcome to do so, and they'll never turn you down. What else? My favorite thing about the school, you definitely want to create relationships with the teachers there. There's a lot of mentors and a lot of space to grow in the school. And let's see, for me, personally, I didn't go into architecture. I do have my certification for AutoCAD though, so that's exciting. You'll leave the school with that, which is something more than just graduating high school, you know, something different from every other high school. But for me, you get to learn a lot of other skills, not just things for architecture. So, you know, I took a class last semester and you needed to know everything there was to know about Microsoft and Excel and spreadsheets. And I learned all of that at WSAD. So you're definitely going to leave the school with a lot of knowledge, whether it be architecture or not. And I don't know, I think you guys should really choose the school. I love the school. And if you have any questions that you don't want to ask the staff or anything, definitely reach out to the alumni. I'm sure Ms. Basilio or Mr. Cody will be more than happy to share our emails and everything. So yeah.
Okay, Mama Williams. Thank you, Naya.
Hi, sorry, I was having some trouble with the mute button there. It kept disappearing. So, hi everyone, my name is Ramon Williams. I graduated with SAD a few years back. To date myself, I graduated in 2014. So six years now. I went to undergraduate at Franklin and Marshall College, and I got a degree in astrophysics and a minor in Chinese. And I'm currently studying mechanical engineering at Carnegie Mellon. One thing I would have to say is that WSAD was the building blocks for everything that I've done. It's a testimony to the community that WSAD brings and to support and just give back to an amazing community that helped me become who I am today. So one thing I want to kind of just jump into is amazing to see some of the new programs here at WSAD and some of the programs that actually started when I was in WSAD, when I was a freshman, and seeing those programs continue to be built on and improve, and just the plethora of new programs that they've added. It kind of makes me jealous of this new generation that WSAD is bringing up. So just to kind of talk about some of the things that I've been a part of and really allowed me to develop into the character and the person that I am today, and for me to find my dreams, I'm going to jump into it. So first is Co-op Tech. Co-op Tech, they've talked about this program that allows you to get these hands-on skills at a trade school. I was actually able to get hands-on skills in solar electrical, and it really allowed me to realize that I loved working with things. And even though architecture was in my mind, and I loved doing it, I love that hands-on component. I love being able to build something from scratch, and that was really built from the Co-op Tech. The PACE Upward Bound program it really holds a special place in my heart, because it allowed me to, one, get a scholarship. They nominated me for the Posse Foundation Scholarship for the undergraduate program that I went to, and that was a full tuition scholarship. And without that PACE Upward Bound program, I would have never had that opportunity. So it's always going to hold a special place in my heart. The ACE Mentorship program provided me with just this amazing opportunity to be in the room with engineers on one side and architects on the other side. It was actually when they were remodeling, I think it was 42nd Grand Central, and just being in a room with that caliber of work and talent really just instills a motivation in yourself that you can be whoever you want to be. And that's just another piece that allowed me to think like, oh, I do want to be an engineer one day. I do want to be in that hands-on component. And even though I love architecture, what a WSAD does is that they give you different perspectives, and you're not just limited to the things that they offer you. They show you so many different things and make sure that they're developing a student dreams and their goals. Something else is the special projects. Working with the community and giving back has always held a special place, and that started there right at WSAD. Being able to give back to the community, helping out, and just finding the value in community service, building that overall student, the skills, the personality traits, giving back. WSAD is a complete package. And I would say lastly, there was a program called Skills USA, and they gave me the chance to compete nationally in architectural design. And that was just a big confidence booster. Knowing that I can go on a national level with the skills that WSAD gave me and compete just allowed me to strive for my dreams. So these connections that I've built and these experiences that I've had in WSAD continues to help me today in the field that I'm in. The programs that I'm using now in my graduate program is very similar to the programs that I learned at WSAD. So they give you these technical skills that puts you ahead of the curve. So when you jump into these other programs, you can see how these experiences really developed you. All I can say is that WSAD continues to inspire me in the things that they do, and I hope that they inspire you and you join them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
Ramon,
you.
so much. Okay, Maria.
Thank you so much, Ramon. Thank you so much, Naya. It's great seeing you guys once again. And thank you so much, Madiba Prep, for taking the time in your evening to really check out what our school is all about. Now, the one person you'll probably be communicating with as far as admissions are concerned. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize my camera's off. Is our parent coordinator. She's here. Her name is Ms. Chu. Hi, Ms. Chu.
Hi, how are you? So I just want to reiterate everything that all my colleagues and all the students said before. I want to thank you for coming and joining us for this virtual open house. And I hope that we have provided enough information for you to make a educated guess. When you start the high school selection process. If for any reason, we did not address some of your concerns, or if you have any question as you are completing the application, please feel free to contact me, and I'm available. You can email me, you can call me, and I will make sure that, I'll respond to your concerns. Once again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for joining us. Does anyone have any final questions at this time? We're more than happy to stick around, but in the meantime, I hope you enjoy this evening's presentations, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.